we go. And here's the link in case you want to share the live stream. Also, one more housekeeping item. In the chat earlier, I put a link to the Story Spine. We're going to try to play that game during the second part of class. So please feel free to open that up in your browser or scroll up to the top, and I'll repost it. Here we go. Okay, so I reposted the Story Spine in the chat. All right, and we're going to start. So hello, I'm Jared. Thanks everybody for being here. Today during class, it's sometimes I'll need you to raise your hand if you want to be unmuted. Feel free if you're having a lot of fun or if you really are excited about something, just to kind of nod your head so I know that you get a concept. Just because this is a one-to-many stream, and we will have a dialogue and we will play some games together, but it's kind of hard to manage 100 people at once. So I just wanted to put that out there. What are we going to do today? We're going to play storytelling games and improv games together. And the best way to get better at storytelling is to listen to other stories, to read other stories, and to tell stories. So we're going to practice by doing today. The class is going to go about an hour long, then we're going to have a 5-minute break for bathroom and water. And then we're going to play for about 30 to 45 more minutes, depending on how we're feeling, but probably it'll be about 30 more minutes. So we'll probably go for about an hour and 35 minutes today. Some other housekeeping items. If you ever feel uncomfortable today, while you're doing an exercise with anyone, whether it's a partner exercise or a small group exercise, I want you to practice this. Let's all do this together and let's all do it out loud. Put your hands up so I can see them. Good. Now, when you're playing the exercise, I want you to go, nope. Right, so that's just saying like that's your boundary. You're just saying, you know, I feel a little uncomfortable. So let's just do this all together again on 3. 1, 2, 3, nope. You can be like, no. You can do it however you want. Your nope can be whatever you want. And that's just saying that you're feeling uncomfortable. And if you feel like you have a question, feel free to message me privately in the chat. I'll try to answer it. I'll try to keep an eye on that and multitask. Every time we break out into breakout rooms for paired exercises and small group exercises, I'm going to ask one group to stay behind and play with me. That way, the people who are at home can watch how the game is played, and they can play with friends and family if they're watching the live stream. So keep that in mind. I might say Cece, Manoj Chalam, Jennifer Arhan, Aleha, Sarah. We're going to stick behind and play together. So cool? Thumbs up. Awesome. Any other housekeeping items? I'm just checking my notes. Let's see. I guess I should probably talk about what this is really quickly. So this is the Joy of Improv. Raise your hand also and give me a thumbs up if my sound is good, because is it good? Okay, good, because I'm using the inbuilt mic. I have another mic as a backup, which I had to use last time because I had a problem, but it looks like we're good today. So the Joy of Improv is all about bringing storytelling and improv to people who may not have had the opportunity or the financial means to do this type of training. So it's all about spreading the joy of storytelling. We have people from all walks of life. We have people from other countries who join these classes. We have people who are driving Uber and working on construction sites, but we also have very educated engineers who haven't had a lot of time for creative play. So this is all about telling stories and expressing yourself and your emotions and getting to know yourself and getting to know others through creative play. Does that make sense? Cool. So it's very important also that this is a safe environment. Please treat yourself well and be kind to yourself, and please treat your partners well. One of the games that we'll play in about 10 minutes is all about celebrating mistakes. And we're actually going to do this mistake celebration right now together. So I want to request a couple people to be unmuted while we do this. I'm going to go for Cece, Erica, Audrey, because she was raising her hand. Nikki, Sarah Nunez, Alicia, Alejandra, Nicole, you raised your hand, and Jed, and Ajit.
Also, because I was there the last time, so I probably knew how to decide the last time.
Right, right. So we're gonna practice what's called the circus bow in improv before we begin. So if you ever make a mistake today, or if you have that moment where you're kind of like being hard on yourself, you just go, woohoo! And you just kind of do it joyfully and just kind of laugh and celebrate whatever mistake you're making. So let's do this together. We're gonna throw our arms up in the air on 3. So 1, 2, 3, woohoo! Good, let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, woohoo! That's a little louder. I'm gonna turn up my volume so I can hear you. Feel free to be loud with your voice. 1, 2, 3, woohoo! Great. So that's the circus bow, and we'll be doing an exercise in about 15 minutes where you're gonna get to use that a lot. But if you ever are feeling hard on yourself or you feel like flinching or wincing, let it go, move forward, celebrate that mistake, okay? So I saw that William Thomas raised his hand. I'm sorry I didn't see that. I'll get you in on the next one.
Which Erica are you? Because I think there's 2 of us, right?
Oh yeah, it was a different Erica. So no, you were the Erica I saw, Erica Jean. But there's I think there's another Erica that raised her hand too, and I missed her. Sorry about that. No problem. All right, so I'm gonna mute everybody and we're gonna do our physical warm-up real quick. So you're standing up. We're gonna do a shakeout. So we're gonna shake our arm one at a time and our legs. So we're gonna do arms and legs. We're gonna count down. So it's gonna go 8, 7, 6, but count with me. So wherever you are, be loud and count with me. Ready? Thumbs up if you're ready. Great. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 2, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Good. Now shake it out. Shake it out. Good. Did I skip a number? I think I did. Woohoo! If I did. Was that too fast? Okay. Let's do another one slower. Thank you. Woohoo! All right. Let's go down from 4 and let's count slower and make sure we use your body. Get warmed up. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. Good. Nice job, everybody. All right, so now you're in your body. Now you're starting to feel warmed up. Thumbs up. Awesome. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to play a game called, it's going to be called Story of Your Name. So I think Shawit might be here. Shawit, are you here? Message in the chat if you're here. We're going to play this together. Let's see. We have about 40 non-video participants. So I'm just going to demo how this game is played, and then I'm going to put you into breakout rooms to play it with a partner. Thank you, ZMWise. Very kind of you to say that. Okay, well, I'll just explain how this game is played. So for about 3 minutes, you're going to tell the story of your name or your nickname to your partner. And your job as your partner is just to listen, nod, and make empathetic responses. Now you might be wondering, what is an empathetic response? Okay, so sometimes if you're talking to somebody, you're like, I ran across the street, this guy, he looked at me funny, then he flicked something onto my car. You might respond with, no, he didn't. Really? Whoa, shit. Those are different empathetic responses that show you're listening. Or, You know, however you want to respond that is natural to you, I just want you to respond to your partner, but not with words, just with sounds, just with emotional sounds that let them know that you're listening and that you're there. You don't have to do it on every line, but it's just something to practice that just kind of shows that you're with them. Or you can just nod your head to show that you're really listening. Your job is just to listen and take in their story. You might be tempted to start preparing the story of your name, how you're going to tell it, how you're going to make it interesting for your partner. Resist that. It's okay. You don't have to be interesting. We're practicing together. This is the place to fail. The classroom is the place to fail and have fun. So, for example, if I were telling the story of my name, I might say, my name is Jared, J-A-R-E-D. My mom gave me that name because she would not name me Daniel after my dad. So she named me Jared because it's this old guy in the Bible who lived to be like 982 years old. And Jared means he who descends. My middle name means Daniel, which means God is my judge or judge. And my last name means soup in Czech, or sauce or gravy in like Russian and Polish. So I'm pretty much the descending judge of soup or sauce or gravy. So that's kind of what my name means. Now, you might have a nickname that your uncle gave you, or you might have, your first name might be something that you inherited from your grandmother. Tell that story. Cool? So I'm going to put everybody into breakout rooms, but I'm going to ask one person to stay behind with me. I'm going to go ahead and put you in breakout rooms. Does anyone have any questions on how to play this before we go? You're just going to tell the story of your name for about a minute to a minute and a half, listen, and then listen to the other person. So I'm going to assign 96 participants into breakout rooms. Yes, Aaron, I'm going to unmute you.
Do the stories have to be true?
For this, I'd say, let's try to tell a true story just because we're building a relationship with our partner. We're going to tell some fictional stories later today. Yeah, thank you. Good question.
Thank you.
All right, I'll assign 96 participants. And then one of you should be behind with me. I just messed up. It looks like I was about to send everyone into one room. 1 second. I'm sorry. I got to fix this. Woohoo! Okay, that'll be 49 rooms. There we go. Have fun, everybody. See you soon. And I saw that Sharon doesn't have a video. It's okay for this one, for the story of your name. You can totally tell the story without video. Sandra, hi. Oh, it's Brenda. Hi, Brenda. Brenda, are you still there? I figured we could play the game together if you're there. Hi, Isabella. Hi, Joel. Hi, Joel and Sarah. Hi, Isabella. So we are, Isabella, I'm asking you to unmute if you'd like to play this game with Joel and I and Sarah.
Okay, cool.
Great, so we're doing the story of the name. Looks like we have a few other folks. Hi, Alicia, Diane. So Joel, would you tell us the story of your name?
Mute me.
Joel, can you tell us the story of your name?
Mute.
He unmuted you.
You're unmuted.
You're unmuted.
There, I'm unmuted. Yay! Hi. Thanks for having the class, Jared. Yes, story of my name. I was actually going to be a girl. I was going to be Rachel, and then and I was actually a surprise. And the name Joel means gift from God. So my mother likes to say that I'm her gift from God.
That's sweet. That's very sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah, would you like to tell the story of your name?
Yeah, it's a good story actually. So Also in Judaism, in Jewish culture, we name after someone who is no longer alive.
Hmm.
And my father's grandmother was named Sarah. So they wanted to use the S. And my mom wanted to name me Stephanie, and my dad wanted to call me Stacy, and my grandpa Dave paid them $100 in 1969 to name me Sarah.
Wow. Very cool. $100. That's good
In
name.
1969, that could buy a lot.
That's
Well,
a lot.
$20. That's
Yeah,
that's a
lot of
capital S.
money. I know, exactly.
Alicia.
All right. Okay, I'm going back to work.
Bye, Sarah.
Bye.
Can you tell us the story of your name, Alicia?
The story of my name, sure. Actually, my mom got it from Alice in Wonderland. She just did a spin on it and tried to make it, I guess, a little bit more different. But it is from Alice in Wonderland, and the middle name actually share the same middle name with my mom, so it's not that creative.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. What's your middle name?
Diane is my middle name.
Oh, Diane. And what does that? What does Diane mean?
Hmm?
What is that?
Diane means actually princess.
Princess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, does Alicia mean anything, or does Alice mean anything?
Yeah, it means honest or truthful.
Ooh, truthful princess.
Yes.
Cool name. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Sure.
I'm going to go ahead and end the breakout rooms. You can stick around, Joel. And thanks for telling us the story of your name, Alicia.
Are you a big fan of Alice in Wonderland?
I'm a big fan of Disney movies. Alice in Wonderland is not my favorite one, but I love Disney movies, so it helps.
So welcome back, most everybody. How was that? Was that fun? Raise a thumbs up if it was fun. Great. I saw that a few people had problems, and so that they either didn't have a partner, so because I saw a few people didn't join breakout rooms. If that happened to you, if you're ever alone in a breakout room for more than 30 seconds, because some laptops, my laptop, my old one, used to take me 30 to 40 seconds to join a breakout room. Stick around for 30 to 40 seconds. If nobody shows up, come back, and we'll play together in the main classroom. Okay? Does that sound good? I'm doing a lot of thumbs ups today. I don't usually use thumbs ups. It's like my 8-year-old self coming out. All right. So, yes, Aaron, you have a question.
Yes. So if you're in a breakout room alone, like I was,
Yeah.
you come back to the main group. Is there a way to do that, or is there a way to message you while in a breakout room?
I actually got a couple requests for help, and I didn't know how to leave the main room. So that's something I need to look into. But I think best policy moving forward is just, if you're alone, come back, we'll play together. And then I'll recreate the room for next time, and hopefully you have a partner on the next go round.
How would you come back? Like what would I push?
There's a button to come back to the room. So I don't have to end it. You can leave it early. Let me double check.
Because I only saw that button pop up, I think like 30 seconds before the breakout room ended.
Gotcha. Are you on your laptop or phone?
I'm on my laptop.
Okay. Let me see. Just gonna double check that real quick. I'm pretty sure that there's I know I've left a room before. Does anybody else know? Oh, Taj, do you know the answer, Taj?
So it's the bottom right corner. You just want to make sure, because the leave meeting button and the leave room button are right next to each other, that you not leave the whole meeting. It should say leave room in the bottom right corner when you're in the breakout.
I'll look for that. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Taj.
was a good storyteller and I was a good listener. I gotta say that.
Good. It's good to be able to listen to yourself and tell stories to yourself. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Good job. So also thank you, Taj. And I think Lali Zayas Del Rio also posted how to leave a room in the bottom of the chat, if you check the chat. So we're going to go on to our next game. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Sometimes there's technical difficulties on Zoom. Woo! So it's going to happen. All right. So we're going to go to the next game, which is all about woohoo and practicing celebrating mistakes. So this game is called 1, 2, 3. It's also known as 2, 3 Bradford. I learned this game from Rebecca Stockley. It comes from the Theater of the Oppressed. and it was originally invented by Augusto Boal. I'll send the syllabus out after if you want to check out Augusto Boal's work. I also always cite most of the games that I learn if I can remember where I learned them, like this one by Rebecca Stockley. She's amazing. If you can take a class with Rebecca, I highly recommend it. She's my improv mom, so she's great. So the way you would play this game is, can I have a partner to demo this with me? We're going to play a couple rounds of it. Taj, let's play together. So the way we play this game is we're just going to count 1, 2, 3, and we're going to look at each other through Zoom. It's easier when you're one-on-one in a breakout room. We're just going to count back and forth. And when we make a mistake, if we make a mistake, we're going to celebrate it. But we alternate 1, 2, 3. So I might say 1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
2.
3,
Good. Now let's go faster. 1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3.
1.
Wow, you're good. Woo! Nice. This game is harder than you think. Okay, and I'm going to make it harder on the next round. I just want everybody to play this for a minute. Just for a minute with each other, count back and forth, making eye contact, listening to each other, and just basing the story off what came before. So what you say, what comes next, is based off what your partner just said. So I'm going to go ahead and add everybody to a breakout room. I'm going to recreate them so you have a new partner. And please come back in the main room and we'll play together if you do not have a partner. All right, have fun, everybody. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Julio. Hi, William. Hello, Sandra. Oh, I'm alone. So I see Meng, Odd, Cindy Griffith, Monkey, Shuezo, and Tony and Alex here. Hi, Kate. Hi, Kate.
Hi.
Hi, David.
Hello, Jared.
Would you both like to play 1, 2, 3 together and just celebrate if you mess up?
Sure.
Sure.
Hey.
Great, I'll stay out of it. Hi, David.
1,
Would you both like to play 1, 2, 3 together and just celebrate if you mess up?
Sure.
I'm getting an echo. I guess there's a delay. That's a Zoom delay. Woohoo! Would you both like to play 1, 2, 3 together and just celebrate if you mess up? Oh my,
One.
echo. I guess there's a delay. That's a Zoom delay.
1,
2,
3.
4.
Ah! 5.
1,
That's a Zoom delay.
1, 2,
3.
2. Ah! 1,
1,
1,
3.
4,
1,
2. 2.
All right, great. I'm going to stop you both there and I'm going to play with Erica for a second. Great job. And then I'm going to end the breakout room after we play real quick. So good job, Kate. Good job, David. And I think there's a delay, but I'm not sure if the delay is from Kate or David. We'll see. I'm going to mute. Is there a delay now? No? Cool. All right, Stephanie, or Erica and Stephanie, would you like to play? Okay, I'll let you both. I'll unmute you both.
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
3, 2, 3. What did you say?
3.
Did you say 3?
3. Yes.
Oh, okay. Do I go down or 2?
I think 1.
Oh, okay. Okay. I
Oh.
get confused.
So when you're playing it, it's just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And if you mess up,
Oh,
yeah, so it's just alternating 1, 2, 3, alternating 1.
I thought we're using mediums like.
No, it's okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring everybody back and end the breakout rooms. And we're gonna go to the next version of this, which is a little bit harder. Nice job. Erica, Jean, were you able to play? Let me unmute you. Oh, you have to.
My partner, sorry, my partner didn't have a mic.
Oh.
So we were doing it like they were typing, yeah. Ooh.
So if you're doing it that way, you can go like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, we didn't skip a beat.
That is tough. That is tough. Yeah. Woohoo. Was anybody else not able to play? Jennifer?
My partner, I taught my partner how to play the game of like 1, 2, 3. Like I'd say, for example, I'd say 1 and my partner would say 2 and I would say 3 and vice versa. So if my partner were to make a mistake, I would remember and tell her that if she were tell my partner that if she were to make a mistake, I would encourage her to participate by saying like woohoo whenever she makes a mistake. So
right.
I would give her the opportunity and I'd be eager to teach her how.
Sure. Well, that's great that you're so eager
That's
to.
all I could remember.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you do make a mistake, it's totally fine. And this game is all about listening and eye contact and drilling your response to mistakes to be more resilient and kinder to yourself. So it's like, just celebrate it and have fun. And it's one of those things where your partner can also take care of them. You can just let them celebrate. And if they're not feeling like celebrating, you can say like, it's okay. I mess up all the time too. It's all good, So we're gonna go on to the next version of this, which is a little bit harder. I think we've got everybody back now. So the next version, let's all do this together, is we're just gonna skip to a more advanced version because I want to get everybody making mistakes. I want you to make mistakes. So we're gonna go clap. Do that together. Clap, snap, 3. So usually there's a stomp, but I'm going to keep one of the numbers in there. So it's clap, snap, 3. Clap, snap, 3. So clap is your 1, snap is your 2, and then you got 3. Cool. Let's do it together. 3.
3.
3.
3. 3.
Good. Okay. Yes, Audrey. Where is Audrey? I think we have a hand raised. I think it's on page 3. We're just about to jump into those rooms. 1 second. I want to make sure I answer this question. And then we'll do a debrief after this. Audrey, yes. Go ahead, Audrey.
It's not a question. It's actually a comment.
Sure.
I actually got, funny enough, remember somebody said my camera's not working?
Yeah.
I actually got the one that didn't have the camera working.
Oh, no.
How am I going to do it? Me and her were trying. I said to her, how are we going to do it? Because if I say it, then we won't know when the other one stops talking. We actually did it. We did a very good job and we actually had it work except one time. That's it. It worked perfectly.
I'm glad you brought that up. So if you're with the person that doesn't have the camera, you might not be able to see this. You might not be able to see this. Now, if you don't have a camera and you can't see them, you're gonna have to listen. This is a snap, or sorry, that's a clap. Woo! I was like, this is a snap. No, that's a clap. That's a clap, people. Okay, so just listen for the clap, then listen for the snap, 3. So you're just gonna have to listen even harder. It's like an extra challenge. You're gonna make a lot of mistakes. Just have fun with it. The goal here is to like make mistakes and laugh and have fun. So everybody cool? Remember, it's clap, snap, 3. I'm gonna reassign everybody to a new breakout room. All right. We had a few participants drop, so I'm gonna make 47, 46 rooms. And a couple people will be back with me. So if you're back with me, it's all good. And if you don't have a partner, come back to the main room. Hi, Miriam and Alejandro. Hi, Miriam. So I think you both, hi. So Miriam and Alejandra, would you like to play first? Oh, we lost Miriam. Hi, Alejandra.
Hi, sorry, my screen is like, I can't click and go anywhere. I can't like unmute or join breakout room.
No worries, no worries. Why don't we take turns playing as a group? So why don't we have Alejandra and Sarah go? Sarah, did you have a question?
No, sorry, I was just going to mention that my breakout room it wasn't nobody there. That's why I came here.
Got it, okay. Well, let's have Sarah and Alejandra play just for about a minute. And then or about 30 seconds, just have fun playing, and I'll mute myself and celebrate if you make a mistake, and then we'll go round robin.
Okay. Hi, Alejandra.
Hi, Sarah.
Are you
ready?
Yes.
Okay. 3.
3.
3.
3.
You got it. So what did that leave us at? 3.
3. Yeah. 3. Ah.
3. I have to think so hard. Yeah.
3.
3.
3.
3.
3.
Great, I think you've mastered it, Alejandra. Good job. Good job.
Good job, Sarah.
So I'm gonna let a couple of other people play. Nice work. I'm gonna mute you guys. Who would like to play next? Raise your hand. Okay, so Janine and Eddie. So Janine and Eddie, you're up.
3.
3.
3.
3.
3.
3.
Great, try going a little faster.
3.
3.
You were supposed to clap. Great job. Way to go, Eddie.
Way to go, Eddie. Way to go, Janine. Nice work. All right, let's have, who would like to go next? Linda and Natalie? You're up. Nice job, Eddie and Janine.
Ready? Or is Natalie?
Can you hear me?
Okay, good.
Great.
Oh, the way I should have a gallery view, maybe better. 3.
3.
Sorry.
Wait till I go. 3.
3,
3,
3,
3,
3,
3,
3,
3.
All right, so I'm going to unmute, and I want us all just to celebrate mistakes together. I'll count off on the 3. 1 second. I know Janine wants to. All right, so let me do a few more. Tanya, Nikki, Kaylee, Ed. Got a few more folks coming back.
I don't know again.
All right, ready? Let's all celebrate together. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Good. Now, let's go just some quick feedback and what did you notice about yourself while playing that game, and what did you notice? What did you just notice about that game? Did you notice anything going on? Raise your hand and I'll call on you.
I didn't understand your moves. Hi.
Oh, I better mute everybody. There we go. I think I saw Anne. Go ahead, Anne.
Just that snapping is not a natural reflex for me. So clapping's fine, 3, and then the snapping was the most difficult part.
Sure. Thank you. Lori.
It's interesting how quickly my head kept trying to find these patterns, like, okay, wait for the 3 and always do this, or wait for this and always do that. And it was just pattern. So
Yeah, and just noticing that about yourself, where do you think that comes from, Lori? What does that feeling come from? Or is that just how you work, or do you think it's something else?
that's a very interesting question. I never thought of that. I think it's a natural process for human beings to want to categorize.
Exactly, because we're storytellers, right? So raise your hand if you're a storyteller. Everybody should be raising their hands. Good, because we're built to interpret stories. We're built to see patterns in the world around us and to see one thing and associate it with another thing. So great, thank you, Lori. Anyone else like to go? Yeah, August.
After we would be going for a while successfully, I noticed that I couldn't wait until somebody messed up. I was so excited for someone to mess up.
That's awesome. That's great feedback. Why do you think that is?
I think it was a lot funner to admit defeat than it was to feel like I was doing something awesome and winning or something.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun to make mistakes, right? The beauty is in the mess, right? And there's a lot of joy, and that's why we in comedy, there's a lot of physical comedy where people are falling and mistakes are being made, or they're not very good at something. It's very fun. It's more fun than doing it perfect. So thank you, August. Thank you. Anybody else want to share anything that they noticed about 1, 2, 3? Yeah, Renee. Oh, you have to unmute, Renee. Let me ask you again. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I just noticed that when you gave us permission to take it, lightheartedly, I did have fun, because normally, like the gentleman just said, normally it's I got to get it all right. I got to do it perfectly. And it just really felt relaxed and fun to just make fun of yourself. So that was a great lesson to laugh at yourself.
That's great.
Don't take yourself too seriously.
Thank you. Thanks, Renee. Anybody else? I think this game has a lot of lessons just baked into it. And I hope that happens the rest of the night. I think all of these games tonight have different lessons baked into the play. Yeah, Audrey.
I actually had the little participant hand up so I could see. Okay, I want to tell you that the hardest part actually was 2 things. One we're not doing it in person. We're doing it on Zoom. And the hardest part is to try and like me, I'm a computer tutor and I teach people how to use computers. So I know how to do this, but where to look here, I'm trying to look at my camera and I'm trying to give the woman eye contact. And it's like, that's the most difficult thing for me.
Right. Yeah, it's almost impossible to truly give real eye contact and look into the camera at the same time. I'd say just look at the person on your screen. So it's like for right now, I'm looking at you, Audrey. The audience probably sees me not looking into the camera like this, but I'm looking at you. So we just have to deal with that reality. So I'd say just look at the person and that's fine. Yeah, that's a great point though. Thank you. Anyone else before we move on to our next part of the storytelling class? So thank you. I hope you bring this celebrating mistakes with you outside of the classroom into life. But I hope you also use it in your storytelling because, you know, sometimes you just got to get that first draft out, right? Sometimes you just got to type that first draft and not edit, not be hard on yourself. And sometimes you just got to even maybe speak it. Maybe you have to talk it into your phone. When I write stories, sometimes I like to record my voice. I'm more of a verbal storyteller. I'll go on a walk and I'll talk into my phone and I'll write something and then I'll transcribe it later just because it feels I'm more in my body. However you work is your way of working. It's your process. So we're going to go on to the next game, which is, let's see, I'm trying to decide. I want to do color advance, and then we're going to do a short, like 5-minute meditation that has to deal with breath. Because when you're on stage or when you're telling stories, sometimes you just have to breathe. Let's just all do that right now. If anybody's feeling any anxiety, we're not going to do the full meditation right now. We'll do it in a second. But let's just all take a deep breath on a count of 4. 1, breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold it for a second and let it out. Just relieve the tension. Roll your shoulders. Get any kinks out of your neck. Shake it out. We're going to do one more breath. Breathe in for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out. I'm going to quote Rebecca Stockley one more time because I love her so much. I remember being in her class like 4 or 5 years ago. And she was saying, if you're ever really panicked while you're doing improv on stage or while you're acting on stage, if you're ever feeling a lot of anxiousness or if you're forgetting your line or you don't know what to say. If it's improv, you might know what to say. If it's acting, you might forget your line. She just said, just take a deep breath. It'll relax you, it'll ground you, and feel your feet on the floor. Feel like you're rooted like a tree. Breathe in, breathe out, and then deliver that line. Because the audience is gonna be like, wow, what a moment. You know, it's like, damn, something happened there between those two people. Anyway, so if you're ever feeling that way, just take a deep breath and then breathe out. It's all good. Okay, so we're gonna go on to the next game. This game is called Color Advance. I learned this from William Hall, Paul McKillum, and Rebecca Stockley a while back when I was training at That's Improv Theater in San Francisco. And I love this game because it's all about, so stories, right? Nod your head if you're with me. Stories, nod your head, are a series of events. But how that story unfolds has to do with structure of the story. And we're going to get into structure a little bit later in class. So there's a structure to a story, but there's how you tell it with the emotion, with details. So color is all about detail. It's like you're painting a picture. You're going to add a bit more color, a bit more shade. You're going to outline the background and you're going to have the foreground. So color is all about detail in a story. It's all about providing context and clarity to your audience. Raise your hand if you know somebody in your life that tells stories like event, and you're having trouble following. Raise your hand if you know somebody like that. I know quite a few people like that, and sometimes they don't use names. I'm a big, I love names because I'm like, oh, like Joe said to Mary, and then Mary turned to Carl, and then Carl turned to Cynthia, and I'm like, I get it because I'm tracking the names, but if there's no names, I don't know what's happening. So in storytelling, sometimes you need details because your audience doesn't know what's in your head. So you need clarity, but then you need details. You need to paint images in their mind. You need to let them hear things, smell things. Does that make sense? So this game is all about balancing detail with progressing the story forward. And it's a two-person partner game. And I'd like to play with someone. Raise your hand if you'd like to demo this game with me. Raise your hand. Okay, I see Kojo. Hey, Kojo.
Hello.
I can hear you well. How you doing?
Doing okay.
Great. So we're going to play color advance, and I'm going to be the person who says color and advance. Do you feel comfortable telling me a story from your life or from your morning routine, let's say?
Oh, yeah, I could, I guess. Okay.
Okay, great. So I want you to tell me about this morning and like brushing your teeth or your daily routine and maybe what you made for breakfast. But at a certain part, I'm going to ask for color or detail, and I want you to describe it and maybe even go on a tangent. And then when I say advance, I want you to get back to the main story. Make sense?
Okay, I think so.
This is like storytelling, but you're sharing control of your story with me.
Okay.
So when I'm feeling naturally curious, I might be like, ooh, what is that? Okay, so tell me about your morning routine.
Okay, so today was Monday, I think. So I woke up at about 8 a.m. when my phone alarm clock went off, and then I rolled out of bed and I looked to see where my cat was, and he was sleeping on the carpet.
Detail, cat or cap, sorry.
Oh, cat.
Detail.
Oh, so my cat, he's an American short hair. He's brown and black and has stripes. His name's Chale, and he likes to sleep in the bedroom where we sleep. And he's really cute, but he's also very annoying.
Detail.
He's annoying in the sense that he meows a lot. He's been making a lot of noise ever since he got fixed a couple months ago. He didn't used to be so chatty. But now, whenever we walk by, he's always asking for attention, and he's always trying to go between doors. Like, we'll go out to the patio, then I want to come back after like a minute or something. So we're basically responding to him. So my cat was there, and I got out of bed, and I decided to go to the kitchen to make my usual breakfast. So I got up out of bed, I walked down the hallway, I opened up the blinds to let in some sunshine. I saw there were some dishes in the sink, so I started washing the dishes before making breakfast.
Detail.
Finished that, and then I got some eggs and cheese. Oh, detail.
Yeah, back to detail on the dishes.
Oh, there was a bunch of dishes in the sink. There were a bunch of glasses and stuff, and there was a bunch of dirt too because my girlfriend grows a lot of plants. So there's actually a lot of like random soil and these little leca balls in the sink. So I was just trying to get that stuff out of the way. And there's actually a few rocks in there too from a plant that we had. So I wanted to make sure none of that went down the garbage disposal. So
Pause. This is great. So I just want to say, in the audience's mind, when I saw you with those dishes, that's an opportunity to bring in, and no, we're just doing like a morning routine, right? This is not a normal story arc, but like sometimes detail can be how you feel about something. So if you had a bunch of roommates, you were mad about the dishes, that's something the audience might want to know, depending on the story that you're telling, obviously. But, or if your girlfriend was being really like dirty the last few days and you've been kind of struggling with that, you might not say that during your story because she might be watching this, but you know, you might say that. But we want to know how you feel too. So sometimes it really helps us if you change your tone or you talk about how you feel during a part of the story, in addition to giving us things that we can imagine or smell or hear. I would just say advance after the dishes, just for a few more seconds, and we're going to let everybody play this together. Go ahead, Kojo.
Okay. So then dishes are done. I went to the fridge and I got out my usual bread, eggs, and cheese, and I was looking for a frying pan, and then I got some of the vegetable oil and everything. I put the bread in the toaster oven, you know, like I like to do. The eggs were cooking okay. I made the nice breakfast sandwich, and I sat down at the table with some sun coming in and a pot of coffee, and I ate breakfast and listened to a podcast, getting ready to start my day. So.
Detail podcast.
Ooh, which podcast was I listening to? I was listening to Mark Maron's WTF podcast. I used to listen to religiously, but have fallen off of it recently. He was interviewing John Cusack, which I think was the most recent episode. And He was talking about a new show that John Cusack has on, I want to say Netflix or something, where it's like a magical show, but there's a little bit of violence to it. I forget what it is because I stopped listening after about 10 minutes, but that was the podcast I started.
Great, good job. Kojo, everybody give Kojo, you're not going to hear it, but give him a round of applause. Nice. Good job, Kojo.
Thank you.
I just want to debrief that really quickly. I found that really interesting. And at any point during that story, if you had a story in mind, you could have drilled down into, I made the sandwich that my grandmother taught me how to make. If that was your favorite sandwich that she taught you how to make, or maybe that frying pan, somebody gave it to you, you know, for like your 12th birthday, just because you wanted to be a chef when you were a little kid, but you didn't follow that dream. But now here you are working in tech, or I don't know what you do, but I'm just saying. So,
tech.
Okay. I like that I guessed it. Cool. What do you do in tech?
I'm a programmer.
Nice, nice, cool, very cool. I also work in tech, so thank you for sharing, Kojo. Thank you. So we're going to go on to the next part where everybody's going to play. And here's the prompt that I'm going to give you. And we're going to play this another time with another partner after. But for this one, I want you to tell a story about something that you want to happen in the world. Probably really something good, something that you care a lot about, whether it's something that you want to build, something that you want to make, a dream that you have. And so the other person's job is just to listen and be very supportive and ask for detail so they understand what you want to bring into the world and so they can picture it. It might be, you know, that you want to build, you know, some type of new car, or it might be that you want to write a story, or you want to build a house for your mom. You know, it might, whatever your dream is, I just want you to tell them about your dream. So let's just say it's telling them about a dream that you're passionate about. And then we're going to play this again afterward with a totally different prompt. But your job as a partner is just to say color and then advance. And when you say advance, it's not like I'm not interested in what you were saying. It's more like advance. Yeah, advance. Yeah, and it's like nice. So you're not like, let's go. Come on. You know, get to the point. So we don't want to do that to our partners. Okay. Any questions before we move on? I think Anna has a question. Let me see where you are. Anna, is your video on? Trying to find you. Anna, where are you? Oh, I see Mia. Mia, you have a question?
Yeah, so just to recap, when we're hearing someone's story, we say advance for them to keep going to the story, color, then advance, and then if you want to hear more detail, then you say detail, right? Just want to make sure I got that.
Well, you can say color or detail. So like saying color is like more detail.
Gotcha.
And let's really quickly, let's brainstorm different types of detail just so we can have it fresh in our minds. So I'm going to unmute Amber, Brea, Nora. I'm going to unmute Monica and Chris. Let's one by one, what are different types of detail that you could provide in a story? Raise your hand. I'll call on you. So Amber, what kinds of detail, or what kind of senses are there?
Smell.
Smell.
Taste.
Taste, yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
For sure.
There's also sound. What else?
The way something feels.
The way something feels.
Texture.
Texture, yeah. Right. The weight of something even, like how heavy it is. Nora, what is another example of detail?
Detail, I would say the way you react to something, when, you know, if you eat something and it feels slimy in your mouth,
Right.
Or it tastes good, but it feels slimy and you like the taste, but you hate the slime or something.
Yeah, got it.
To move, yeah.
Right.
Or
Thank you, yeah. Brea or Brea?
Brea.
Brea.
I would say like the setting, you know, like the weather, how it may feel in the winter, fall, the time of day.
That's great. Time of day, the weather, and then I like what you said, setting. So you mean the where, the location, right? Like where in the world is this story happening? That is so great. That's so helpful. Thank you. And then, and I love time, like location and time is super. Monica, did you have one?
I have nothing to say. Everything.
You're great. You're great. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm gonna assign everybody to breakout rooms, and you're just gonna tell your partner for 1.5 to 2 minutes about your dream. Then you're gonna switch. Then we're gonna come back. We're gonna do our meditation. We're gonna play this again. Class break, and then we're gonna get into some real narrative storytelling stuff. All right. Let me send everybody to breakout rooms. So based on the number of participants, we should have 1 or 2 people back here with me to play. Have fun, everybody.
21.
Hi, Natalie. Hi, Anne. Let me unmute you. There we go.
I always do that.
Oh, it's okay. Do you want to tell me about your dream?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I bought my first house about 10 years ago, and I'm still living in it. And at the time I thought, oh, this is perfect. It's big enough. It's got everything I need. It's laid out just the right way. And come to find out, once you start living in it, you realize, I wish this was here. I wish this was bigger. Or I don't need this. And I wish I didn't put this in. And so my backyard has been the bane of my existence, because being in the Pacific Northwest, it rains and it gets muddy. And I have dogs.
Sure.
I'm dreaming of a beautiful landscaped backyard with a deck or pavers or some sort of, lush, beautiful plants.
Detail.
I have a friend who lives in California, and they've got my dream backyard. It's got this all these like big tropical plants that are just kind of wild yet manicured. So you might have some big banana leaf kinds of palms or some smaller grasses, and it's just
advanced.
And anyway, the house that I bought had nothing. It had sod and dirt.
Okay.
And every year I add a little bit more, and I still, I'm now at that point where it's like, come on, I want to get everything to grow up. And then I forget that, winter comes and then kills off half the plants. And so then I have to start all over again.
Gotcha. Can I pause for a second?
Yes.
So it's interesting because I think you're like a natural detailer. you add a lot of detail. And I think what might help is maybe starting at the beginning of that, maybe even starting with the context of like my dream is to have this beautiful backyard that looks nothing like the yard I have now, and especially not like what it was 10 years ago. And then take us back in time. 10 years ago, it was like this. And then bring us back. This is how it is now. Because I'm a little confused about what it is now versus how it looked then. And then also the image, like, is it like the Taj Mahal of backyards? Like, how do I imagine this backyard? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
So
I see. Yeah. It just, I see that I did go kind of jumped.
Yeah.
Back and then.
Yeah. That's okay. And sometimes so detail, like clarity can be the detail which you provide, but it can also be the sequencing. So sometimes the order of events and the order of the story can help with clarity too. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good job. Good work. Nice work. Thank you for sharing. That's so beautiful that you want to like just beautify your backyard.
Trying.
I believe in you. Thank you. So Shawit, would you like to play?
Sure. What was the prompt?
So the prompt was, I don't know if we played this one together. The prompt was a dream that you have, like one of your greatest dreams.
Like in my future or at night? Like
Well, up to you. If Chris Hemsworth or someone is in your night dreams, maybe don't tell that one today. But no, I'm just kidding. But something that you want to have happen in the world, or that you want in your future.
Okay. Well, in my immediate future, I guess everybody. Well, it's not. I mean, I'd like a job that I truly enjoy. Yeah, immediate and long term.
Detail.
So I gotta tell a story regarding this, right? So these days, I have a job and I don't mind zooming in. I actually prefer it. But the thing is, I end up, sort of doing a little bit more administrative work than I'd prefer to do.
Right.
I work at a university. I help out as a program manager. I help out the dean. I actually might be assistant dean soon, which sounds amazing. Well, I will be assistant dean soon, but I'm kind of running away from it because that will solidify me in education. And
detail your emotion around.
okay, yeah, I'm already yawning and rolling my eyes when I say it. Like, basically solidifying myself in education means that I'd end up full on in administrative sort of work, because moving forward after assistant dean would be dean, but most deans you need to have the terminal degree, and I'm not about to get a doctorate right now.
Detail, terminal degree, and I assume this is academia.
Yeah, so terminal degree means a PhD, or law meaning a law degree, things of that nature. Whatever the last final degree is in that field, that's what most likely you should have if you plan on being a dean of a reputable.
Now to the ideal. Advanced.
Yeah, so that's a great thing. Ideal would be, I don't know. I mean, ideal would be something dynamic where it's not the same sort of job every single day. I've been looking on LinkedIn. It seems like the route would be education management at a tech company. Yeah, where I can throw some analytics in there because that's my master's, right? So.
Okay. Pause. You don't sound excited about that. So you just gave us the practical choice.
I still did, yeah.
Yeah, you still gave us the practical choice.
Okay, let me backtrack.
Tell me a little bit more about, like, regardless of your background, regardless of what you think is possible, what do you dream of doing?
I really enjoyed, so I know Jared, I've known him for a little bit. So I really enjoyed living overseas, and I taught English abroad just to be able to make money while there. So that was fun traveling. Thing is, there's this thing called COVID right now. So I can't really get into the travel situation, but I don't mind that. It's something where I'm on my toes. Like, I have to use deductive reasoning. Not necessarily, I don't have to be a detective, but something where I got to figure something out, a puzzle piece to put together, something like that. If that.
I hear you. Yeah. Really good, Shawit. But if I'm just curious, advance a little more to, it sounds like travel is important to you. And it sounds like you want to do something maybe where you're traveling and working remote. And I'm just curious.
Yeah, actually, okay. So let me add, actually, so Barbados is offering a 12-month visa for people who are working from home. And I applied to that. I got accepted to that. And you pay two G's, and then you just go and live on Barbados for a year, and you're good to go. Come and go as you please. But then I realized, so I live in Oakland. I realized Oakland during COVID is probably more popping than Barbados without COVID, like on the regular.
Yeah.
So kind of be sitting on a beach, like ready to move somewhere else. So I'm looking at those opportunities, but just I don't know. I don't. That's what I got.
Thank you. Let's give Shawit a round of applause. Good job, Shawit. You're awesome. I'm going to invite the rest of the folks back from the breakout room. You have a question, Ajit? No? Okay. All right, was that fun? Thumbs up if it was fun. Great. Awesome. Would anyone like to, we had a few people join during the break. Would anybody like to do a quick demo of this game again? But instead of a future thinking dream, where it's harder in a way, that's a really hard example of the exercise because you have to kind of lay the clarity of where you are currently in time. And then you have to create something that you may or may not have a lot of detail about. So I noticed some people like, it's tough. That the dream one is a tough one. And it's tough to give a lot of emotion around it, or maybe to open up yourself in a vulnerable way sometimes with that game. So I just want to say, here's another prompt, which is, tell me about a time in your life where there was something you were dreading. So you set the story, you set the clarity, the time, the place, the where, a time in your life where there was just something you were dreading that turned out to be awesome. So if you can think of a time like that, where you were just not looking forward to something, maybe it was a date, maybe it was a job interview, maybe it was, going and seeing your cousin who you had a big fight with 10 years ago and you haven't seen in 10 years. And you were dreading seeing this person. So just a story where you were dreading something, but then it turned out to be really amazing for you. So thank you, Lori. So the time limit per person recommendation for this would be 2 minutes. So I think we played for about 8 minutes that time, maybe a little longer. So let's say 2 to 3 minutes, and then when you finish, come back. So when each of you gets to the conclusion of your story, say 2 to 3 minutes, then feel free to come back to the homeroom. Raise your hand if you'd like to tell me briefly about a time in your life where it was not fun, or you were dreading it, but it became awesome. Like, raise your hand if you want to share that with me. I'm trying to find Sharon. Sharon, is your video on? I don't know why I can never find you. You might maybe raise your hand as well. Oh, there you are, Sharon. Are you down bottom? Okay. Sharon, are you wearing a purple sweater? Yes? Okay, I'll unmute you.
There you go.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi there.
Do you want to quickly, let's say 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, tell us about a time that you weren't looking forward to or that you were dreading and that it was actually awesome?
Well, when COVID-19 struck here in Canada, it was announced as a pandemic back in March. Mm-hmm. And so our children, I've got a kindergarten and a grade 3, they had to switch to virtual schooling for the first time. And it was, I dread that because it was really stressful in the beginning. I felt that the burden was really on to the parents, which is me as a full-time, I decided to be a full-time mom because of COVID-19. And I felt really stressed and burdened because I had to learn all the apps conforming to the school's requirement, which is like there's Microsoft Teams, there's Google, there's a Brightspace portal, which is strictly for the school. And I thought technology was, much of a big learning curve for me and my children.
Advance.
And so I really dread that because I have to juggle 2 kids. I have to make sure I schedule them right. And most of the time, the children, the teachers want to meet them at the same time. We only had 1 laptop. Okay, I'm like, how do I do this? This is really a big challenge, but the school gave us some tips. Okay, use 2 browsers, one for Google Chrome, the other one goes to Microsoft. A Firefox. So that was kind of resolved, but then still.
Yeah, advance.
Yeah. So I really dread that. But then as months go by, my children got used to the routine. We were able to learn about the software within a month. It was easy for my eldest child, and my youngest child enjoyed the video meetings with her teachers. Somehow there's socializing involved. through video cam. At least they get to meet their teachers and their classmates again, familiar faces.
Sure.
And we got used to it. We got the structure now, we got the routine. So when that ended, the school year just started again this year, September 2020.
Yeah.
And now it's just easy. The first 3 days were, adjustment again, but then just easy, and they love it.
Great. Thank you for sharing, Sharon. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Sharon. That's like a tongue twister. Let's give Sharon a round of applause. Thank you. Nice work, Sharon.
Thank you.
Right. So I'm going to assign everyone into breakout rooms. I saw a few messages that some people don't know. They might not have a story. So if you don't, so remember, the prompt is, tell us about a time where you were dreading something, but then it turned out to be awesome. Maybe tell us about, if you can't think of anything for that, just tell us about one of your favorite birthdays. Just the setting, who was there, how you were feeling. For me, birthdays are often something that I usually dread and then I end up enjoying. So it's really for the first prompt for me. All right, everybody, we're gonna play this for about 6 minutes and then we're gonna come back and we are going to then go on to the second part of class after a short break. All right, I'll create those breakout rooms. Let's see. All right, here we go. Have fun. Hey, Jed, would you like to play this game?
Yeah, sure. I was alone in my breakout room, so I figured better be with everyone.
Great. So Jed, why don't you and Cece play together?
Cool.
So I think you both were, so a time that you dreaded that turned out to be awesome, or a birthday if you can't think of anything. So Cece, why don't you go first? And Jed, just when you feel like something is, you want more detail or description, say detail. And then when you want it to advance, say advance.
Cool.
So I guess I had just started again into community theater. I did some in high school and college, so I decided to do it again. And I was scared. As being an adult, you have more fears and more things going in your mind. So I was a nervous wreck. I was pacing. I was stumbling over my words. I was scared that I would forget my lines. So as I started my first line, I was like, okay, we got through this. And as I continued again, little nerves start to kick in again. But as I got through it, I started to really enjoy it. I was like, I remember how it felt to step into a role of another person, another character, another life. And
I just want to pause 1 second. Jed, if you ever want it to move forward, or if you want more detail about another role or whatever you were, maybe even say detail, emotion, you can totally ask. You don't have to be so polite. You can totally, but good job, Cece, I just want to say, but you seem like a polite guy, Jed, so feel free to interrupt.
Thanks. Yeah, so far I haven't had any. She's filled in the gaps pretty well.
So I talk a lot. So so I remember how I enjoyed theater and being able to step into a role that, especially during this time during COVID, where I can step into something that I don't have to think about it anymore. I can just be. And
detail.
Well, with life with COVID, and 2020 has been the worst year of personally my life. And I work at a jail, so it's a high stress, it's a high anxiety, always on the go, always using this, always using this. So it was nice to kind of not think about that for a while.
Yeah, advance.
Nice, nice. Thank you. And Jed, why don't you go? And Cece, you can do color advance on Jed. Sorry, while you both were doing that, a bunch of people were having trouble, so I had to reassign them to rooms. So I'm sorry if I wasn't fully there. I was trying to help the other students. Go ahead.
All right. So the only thing I can think of, I was somewhat dreading, actually very recently, this class I just started, Intro to Engineering. So I wasn't dreading the class, even though I had some dread for the class because I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I was kind of dreading the teacher because I did like a very quick Google search and it seemed like she was pretty uptight. And I had a bad experience with a chemistry teacher once and
detail.
Okay, so yeah, I had a chemistry teacher 2 years ago who just wasn't really vibing with me well. She didn't really explain things all that well in class, and then she had homework problems that weren't covered in the lecture entirely, so we had to do like a lot of figuring out on our own. And it was a very early college experience for me, so that kind of scared me. So I was pretty scared of like uptight professors. So that was my dread, and so yeah, I just went into the class. It was a pretty spontaneous decision. And turned out to be really nice. I mean, it just started about a month ago, but I was thrilled the moment I met her. She had a really good vibe, really friendly, really involved, really dedicated, and knowledgeable too. So yeah, I've been starting the class and really enjoying every bit of it. So,
detail. What the intro?
Cool. So I'm mostly enjoying. We're starting this project that we have due at the end of the semester, which is very open-ended since it's an intro to engineering and it's very general. It's kind of like create something, anything you want. It could be like coding wise, it could be physics. And I personally love physics. I have since I was a little kid. So it's like an opportunity for me to just let out some of that creativity and kind of think things through and brainstorm and come up with some kind of physics project. And it actually was amazing when I started working on it. It was just like letting out the creativity I haven't really tapped into since I was a little kid. Like I would like play around with electricity and like physics when I was like 10 or 11. And it was like, it just went right back to that. What?
Advance.
Okay. Oh, advance. Okay. So, so that was the project. Started working on that, and I've been making progress in the project. Been doing a lot of brainstorming, and
I just want to stop you real quick. Good job, both of you. Give yourselves a round of applause. Nice. Amber, did you come back from your room, or did you not get to go? Let me unmute you. I just want to make sure. Were you able to play?
Yes, I was able to play. Myself and Peely were in a breakout room together.
Great. Did you have fun?
I did. It was a really good exercise.
Great. Please raise your hand if you didn't get to play that game. Please raise your hand. So Mrs. Bradshaw, Clara G, Lori, and Chris. Okay. I'm gonna bring everybody back, and then we're gonna replay it one time. So I'm sorry you guys didn't get a chance to play. I just realized that there's a feature of Zoom, and I'll announce it when everybody comes back. I'll announce it again, but you can request help, and I'll see what room you're in, and I can pair you into a new room. So I can add you. So I had to do that with someone, and they went into a room. So it's 3 people, but I'm sure they improvised and figured it out. So. Yes, Ajit. Oh, I tried to unmute you. Did you get it? Ajit, did you have a question?
Yeah, I thought the story was good though. It was like good to know about another person that I don't know. And then I did improv back in undergrad, like with different games, but I'm learning different new games like Clap, Snap, 3.
Great. I'm glad you're having fun.
Yeah, and then does this class meet up every week? Like I just found out on Facebook, like some random invites, and I was like, dude, dope. This is nice.
We usually do it about once a month, just because it's a volunteer donation-based project.
Yeah.
We used to do it weekly before COVID, when we were doing it.
Is it in person?
It was in person, yeah. It used to
And
be.
where you guys do it in person? Like I know all these people are remote everywhere.
Yeah, we used to do it in San Francisco and Oakland. So that's how I know Shawit, who was on screen earlier. Hi, Shawit. So Shawit and I used to do classes together, and we used to do workshops together. And she's also helped teach a few workshops.
Oh, my friend in the Bay Area, he does improv too. I don't know for which club, but his name is Griffin Beer.
Okay, I'll have to Griffin Beer, like having a beer.
Yeah, BIER.
Great, thank you. So I also used to teach them in Los Angeles.
I think in Berkeley too. He does his improv in Berkeley.
Great, awesome. Well, thanks, Ajit. I'm going to mute everybody real quick, and we're going to move on to the next exercise.
Oh, sorry about that.
You're fine. You're fine. All right. So, okay. So I just want to check in with everybody. We're going to play that one more time, and I think we're going to go till 7:30. Give me a thumbs up if you're okay with skipping the 5-minute break, because I just kind of want to push through and make sure we get in the next 3 games so you can get the full experience today and have all the tools that we're getting in this 2-hour class or hour-and-a-half class. So did anybody notice anything about that when they were doing it? What did you notice in yourself or in your partner? Is there anything? Here's a question. I did this recently with another teacher, and I'd never seen it done this way before, but do you feel like you're a natural detailer or a natural advancer? So like, just kind of think about how you tell stories and kind of meditate on that. Do you like to jump from thing to thing, or do you sometimes get off on tangents or give almost too much exposition, too much detail? Just something to keep in mind. So as you play this game, and I encourage you to play this game more often and even use this game to prototype other stories. You could take a piece of fiction and you could play this game while reading it out loud to a person. And maybe that something's not clear to them and they ask detail, or they want the story to move forward. They're like, okay, this is like J.R.R. Tolkien describing the Shire for 60 pages. This is a lot of description of a little town. This is too much, like move the story forward. So maybe you can always test this game on an audience, because we really want the audience to be engaged. Great. Does anyone have any questions? We're gonna go on to the next part. Any questions about that, or did you have fun? Thumbs up if you had fun. Great. Okay, so we're gonna play Color Advance again later, and it's gonna be a different version of it. Yeah, ZM, do you have a question or something you noticed?
Oh, okay. Well, here, first of all, is my audio okay?
It's a little choppy.
Can you hear me okay?
For me, it's everybody put your thumbs up if it's choppy. Is it choppy for you? Yeah, it's going like it's more like, can you hear me? Oh, okay. It's kind of like that. It's a little choppy going in and out.
Okay. How about now? Is it still choppy?
Still choppy. Yeah.
I'll type it. I'll just type it. It's okay. I'm
okay.
Sorry.
Sure. No worries. Great. I'll check out the question. Anybody else have any questions before we go on to the next part? Nope. All right. So for the next part of class, we're going to go to, we're getting towards the end. Oh, Danielle has raised a hand. Where are you, Danielle? Can you raise your hand on the screen too, so I can find your name? It's hard with like 90 people. So tough. Or feel free to type it into the chat and I'll read it out loud and I'll answer it. It's just so hard to find. Yeah, sorry about that. I can't find you right now. So I'm going to read ZM's real quick as the final debrief for that. I just noticed that a part of me did not want to interrupt the other person to say advance in detail. LOL. I did adjust though. Well, good. I'm glad you adjusted. And it is hard. Sometimes we can be too nice. And then sometimes it's just, if you need clarity about something, or if you really want to know more about a specific thing, feel free to interrupt and ask for detail. But if you feel like it's getting confusing because too much detail is actually confusing you and you're not moving the story forward, then ask for an advance. So another version of this game, you can play it with the word. So you can say, detail your brother, detail how you felt about the helicopter crash, advance, back to the, you can actually give a little bit more specificity. From Danielle, so is this activity useful in a business setting? I find it confusing if I should overshare or get straight to the point. That's a good question. So in a business setting, it depends on the context. If you're speaking in front of an audience and you're on stage, you probably want to talk about the struggles of the team, right? And the obstacles that they faced and how people were feeling, because it gets them engaged in your story. However, if it's like a one-on-one meeting that you have for 15 minutes, you might want to be like, look, here's the scenario. Usage is down by 20%. We checked all internal causes, couldn't find anything. Our content delivery network is fine. This is fine. All right, but we looked outside. In Europe, there's something happening. It looks like it's a seasonality factor. You might be like diagnosing a problem, or maybe like there are riots, in this part of the world. Nobody's using our service. So if it's business, I'd say it depends on the context. It just depends. I would say don't overshare if you mean like, and that's a very subjective thing, what oversharing is. So I'd say, yeah, it's hard for me to answer that in a binary yes or no way. Great. For those of you who had to leave, thank you for being here. I know a couple people had to leave. I also see Sarah says, my partner Jarrett was giving great amounts of detail and making the story very engaging without me asking. Great. So my partner's details were enough so I didn't have to ask. Did that happen to anyone? Raise your hand if that happened. Their details were good, so you didn't have to ask. Well, that's great. That's great. They're being very clear. Great. Sharon, you're fine. Woohoo! Sharon, I would say that I love you, Sharon. Sharon, I love you so much. So what I would say, Sharon, is you gave us the exposition earlier with the story about the obstacle, which was the kids and how you were dreading them learning on Zoom and learning online. That was great, but at a certain point, I wanted you to advance to when you got to your new normal or to when the world changed. And maybe there was something that happened that changed that world. So it just basically, there was a lot of detail about dreading it. And at a certain point, I think I personally, I don't know about the audience, but maybe we wanted you to get to a little bit of detail about the kids, maybe their name, maybe like one of your kids like mooned the class, like one of the kids like showed his butt to the class online. That was weird. Something that like makes it relatable to the children so we can empathize more, because storytelling, it helps people have empathy. The more you read stories, the more you listen to stories, the more you can understand other people's points of view and try to relate to them from their given circumstances, their economic background, their race, like what language they speak growing up. So storytelling is all about empathy. So if you can ever drop these like empathy nuggets on us, like we love that. We love when you can drop the empathy nuggets. So I'd say maybe a few more empathy nuggets here and there. And then what happened to make the world better? And like how now I actually don't ever want them to go back to a regular school. Maybe that's what your new normal, like screw regular school, who needs it? Learning from home is better. So maybe it is, I don't know. I don't think, maybe in some ways it is. But anyway, I hope that helps, Sharon. And I love you. Don't be so hard on yourself. Be kind to yourself. Woohoo, it was good. Good job. So we're gonna go on to the next part of class. All right, so we're gonna warm up again. Get up. We're gonna warm up one more time. I want everybody standing. We're just gonna do a quick shakeout. We're gonna do our meditation, and then we're gonna do the story spine, and then we're gonna end class. So, all right, let's do the shakeout. We're gonna count down together from 7, one limb at a time. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Woohoo! I said from 7 and I counted from 8. All right, we're gonna count from 7 again. All right, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Count with me. Be loud at your house. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now do a weird voice. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. New weird voice. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. New weird voice. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. Now finally, 1, 1, 1. Good job. Woo! Shake it out. Shake it out. Good. Okay. So we're going to do the meditation now, but stay standing if you're comfortable. So we're going to do this just to get into more of a storytelling frame of mind. Everybody hear me okay when I stand this far away? Great. So we're going to stand shoulder width apart. You're going to have a 7 or 8% knee bend. You're going to bend your knees slightly so you are not like really bent like this, but just a slight bend. You're comfortable. You're going to take a deep breath. Now I want you to retract your shoulders so you have good posture. So your scapula is up and back. Your hands are out. You're not fidgeting with your fingers. You're going to stretch your fingers out. We're just going to do this for about 4 or 5 minutes. So this is a very imaginative exercise. And I want you to have soft focus and look beyond your laptop. Don't see anybody on the screen. Pick a spot on the wall. And in a little bit, we'll close our eyes. This is a position of readiness. So at the American Conservatory Theater, there's this master of movement, and he is so fun to do class with. The name's Mark Jackson. He often asks us, what are you ready for? And you're ready for anything and everything. So in this position, this is a position of readiness. You have a 7% knee bend, feet shoulder width apart, good posture. You're ready to go right, you're ready to go left, and you're breathing. Breathe in. Now I want you to breathe in for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. Now I want you to close your eyes. Stay in your position of readiness. You're ready for what? Anything and everything. You're ready to help your teammates if you play sports. You're ready to help people at work. You're ready to catch someone if they fall. You're ready to help. You're also ready to listen. And you're ready to tell a story. I want you to take another deep breath on a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to put one hand on your stomach, your right hand on your stomach, because I want you to feel your diaphragm expand. And I want you to open your mouth. So you're a mouth breather. You're a 1980s mouth breather. So instead of breathing through your nose, which calms you down, you're going to breathe through your mouth, which is slightly open, which puts you more in touch with your emotions. So your mouth is slightly open. Don't worry. Nobody's watching you except 200 people on the live stream. It's all good. It's all good. Your eyes are closed. All you see is what's in your imagination. Put your left hand on your heart now. We're going to breathe together just for a couple seconds. Breathe in for a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale. Mouth is open, body's relaxed. Position of readiness. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, without me counting, just breathe. Nice deep breaths where your diaphragm expands. And exhale. Your mouth is open. Now, you're no longer in your house. Your eyes are closed. You're still. You don't have to fidget. You're just breathing. You're aware of your breathing. You hear your breathing. You hear the crickets outside. You hear if anything moves in the house, any sounds outside the house. You're aware of everything. Your listening is deepened. So you listen to yourself, you listen to your breathing, and you're listening to your environment. Now I want you to imagine as you breathe, keep breathing. I want you to imagine that you're on a lake in a boat. This is your own story. It's your dream lake. What is the boat made out of? How does it feel? Are there waves on the lake? Or is there no gravity and no wind in your dream lake? The laws of physics do not apply. It is like glass. It is still. What do you see? See the sky? Is it blue? Is it cloudy? So keep breathing. Now I want you to sit up in your dream lake and stand. You're in your position of readiness. You're balancing on the water in the boat as it rocks back and forward, back and forth. Woohoo. And breathe. Now ask yourself, how do I feel? Check in with yourself, with your emotions. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now. To tell stories, we need to come from a place of empathy for ourselves and for others. So check in with yourself. How do I feel? Wiggle your toes in the boat. How do your toes feel against the boat bottom? Take a deep breath. Now I want you to jump out of the boat or step out of the boat and get in the water. So go ahead, get in the water and breathing. You're just floating. Feel the water. Is it hot? Is it cool? Is it salty? You can taste it. It's cool. Ask yourself, how do I feel? Take a deep breath. Another count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now exhale. And as you exhale, sink below the water. You're now going under the water. And on your next inhale, you're going to breathe just like normal through your mouth. You're going to stay relaxed and you're going to breathe that water in. Because guess what? In a story, especially a fictional story, you can do whatever you want. You're a water breather, in addition to being a mouth breather. So breathe in that water. See how that water tastes. Is it cleansing? Does it fill you with warmth and kindness and feel like a hug from one of your favorite people? How does it feel to breathe in that water? I want you to feel your breath expand and really feel your stomach and your heart. And just ask yourself again, how do I feel? Very often we tell stories from a place that lacks feeling. Sometimes we're too hard on ourselves and we want to go from event to event to event. We just want to advance, advance, advance. Sometimes we're hard on ourselves because we're trying to add a lot of color and detail and we're like, does this detail matter? Just be kind to yourself. Woohoo. So after you have checked in with yourself and you're aware of how you feel, I want you to create a storytelling mantra that you can use before you write or before you go on stage, whatever situation. Something positive, like, I'm going to listen to the audience, or I'm going to share my gift with them. I'm here to give them new knowledge. I'm here to have fun. Whatever your storytelling mantra is, it's for you. It can be anything. Because mindset and your physicality is so important when you tell stories. If you go into writing being hard on yourself and critical, it hurts the creative process. If you go onto stage being hard on yourself and tense, if you have tension in your body, it hurts the creative process. So I want you to let go of your tension, Breathe in for a count of 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you to say your positive mantra in your mind. And I want you to exhale. One of my teachers says, his name's Richard, he says the imagination is a fragile thing. It's something that has to be nurtured. You have to be kind to your imagination, and you have to learn to believe in it. I think he's right. So a lot of this is about practicing a mindset where you're kind to yourself and you're playing and you're open to making mistakes and learning, and you're listening and supporting others. So I want you to breathe in one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now open your eyes and just check in with other people in this class. We're just an ensemble. We're here to play and have fun on a Monday evening. We're all from different backgrounds. We're all live in different parts of the world, but we're here to play and have fun and tell stories. And I really appreciate you being here and for sharing your stories with other people during the exercises and for just committing and doing the whole class. It's just really great. I'm really grateful for all of you. So I just want to check in, see how people are feeling. And then we're going to go on to our final storytelling exercise, which is the story spine, which is invented by Ken Adams, and it's used by Pixar pretty often. I met Ken. He's a really nice guy. He lives in the Bay Area. He actually lives in Oakland, not far from you. Actually, I think he's in Berkeley now. Not far from you, Shawit. Does anyone have anything they want to share after doing the meditation, or anything they want to type in the chat? Feel free. Kaylee, yeah. Hey, Kaylee.
All right. Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Yep. It made me feel excellent. Like I actually have a story now. Like it made me picture my boat is made of cheese and the river is cream soda. And when I fell backwards scuba diving, I got into a fight with a squid that was made of licorice.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna write a story for my kids.
You should. That's awesome.
Really awesome.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
That's really, that's so cool. I hope you write it down right after class, like or say it into a phone. Feel free to like record it. And then this next exercise, is that your wife or your girlfriend or?
Yep, I'm Kaylee.
Oh, hey, Kaylee. What was your name, sir? What was your name?
Oh, Sheldon.
What is it?
Sheldon.
How do you spell it? Sorry, I can't.
Like Big Bang Theory, Sheldon. SHELDON.
Oh, Sheldon. I thought you said Chillin. I was like, that's a cool name. I was like, nice. Well, this next game we're about to play also has to do with narrative structure, and you can play this game with your kids. They're gonna love it. So I think you'll like this next game. Thank you for sharing that. That was really awesome.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Anybody else notice anything about that meditation and just doing it? I really do believe, like I said earlier, like imaginations, we have to be kind to ourselves. And Katie from Hong Kong, or Katie Hong, let's see. I had a Candyland boat and a lake scenario, a really Willy Wonka. Oh
yeah, the same. That's awesome.
Shawit says that ZM wants to speak. I'm going to try to find you, ZM. Can you raise your hand? Feel free to raise your hand so I can see you on the chat. Oh, there you go. Found you. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm trying the trick where I turn off my video. Is the audio better this time?
It's a little bit better. It's not as choppy. It's still a little choppy, but yeah, it's better.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll try and speak as clearly as possible. So my boat was actually a giant pen, and I was sailing through a sea of poems. There were actually pieces of paper. The only thing that the law of physics defined was that there was lack of gravity, but the added bonus that there were no paper cuts involved.
Wow.
And I could just walk through these collected words and just sort of gather my thoughts. They sort of swam up into me, and the meditation itself made me feel more centered in general. So I thank you very much for that. I think I'm ready for a wild, non-linear story.
Great, great. Well, we're about to jump into some wild, non-linear stories in just a second here, so we'll have fun with it. Thank you, CM. Anybody else want to share anything? Oh, I see Nyla's here. Hey, Nyla. I see you. Good to see you. So great. So usually we do the meditation earlier in class because I really think it helps open a person up for improv and also for narrative story. So I like to do this type of thing before I write. It helps me a lot in different scenarios in life. So I hope it helps you. Let me know if you have any questions about it, or if you want that meditation on audio, I have an audio version of it that I created. It's free. I just send it to you. It's all good. So yeah, feel free to email me if you want that meditation. It's all good. I'll put it on iTunes or something. So anybody else have any questions or feedback? Okay, great. So without any further ado, we're going to get into the story spine. So you might see in the chat earlier that I posted, I'm going to go ahead and open a new window and repaste it in really quickly. So the story spine was at the top of the chat. I will repaste it. And Shuit, thank you earlier for helping me see that ZM wanted to speak. Thank you again. So here's the story spine. Or did I only send that to Lori? Oops, I meant to send that to everyone. Here we go. Okay, so here's the story spine. So the story spine works like this. Once upon a time, there was a blank, and every day, blank, but one day, blank. Because of that, because of that, because of that, until finally, and the moral of the story is. So I'll play this so you can get the feel for it. And make sure you have it open in another window or written down when you go into breakout rooms so you can refer to the story spine. But who would like to play with me? Nyla or Shawit, would you like to play? Let's see. Nyla, you want to play? Okay, I'm not sure if you want to or not. Did you raise your hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
Hey, Nyla. So we're going to play the story spine. We're just going to alternate together, and we're just going to fill in the blank. So why don't you start us off? Once upon a time, there was a...
Once upon a time, there was a watermelon.
And every day, the watermelon used to roll down the hill towards the county market.
But one day, the watermelon rolled in cayenne.
Rolled in what? Sorry.
Cayenne?
Cayenne pepper?
Pepper?
Oh, okay. Cayenne pepper. Because of that, the watermelon felt tingly and hot all over.
Because of that, the watermelon turned to fire.
And because of that, only the watermelon rind was left.
Until finally, the seeds were planting more watermelon.
The moral of the story is, when you burn shit down, new stuff grows. Yeah. That might be what's going to happen to the American government pretty soon. So, if things go away, we just make a new one, right? So I'm just playing. Nyla, thank you. That was very fun. So would anyone else like to play this? Mia. Let's play Mia. Mia,
Yeah.
I'm going to start us off, okay? Or let's play in a little group. Who else wants to play? Raise your hand. Eddie. Okay, but I'm going to have to give you numbers so you know the number. DM. I know Kaylee wants to play. Come on, Kaylee. All right, I'm going to unmute you. And then we're going to go with Ruchi. Okay, so let's see. Kaylee, I want you to go first. And then I want Sheldon to go second. So Kaylee first, Sheldon second. Then we're going to go with, raise your hand if I called on you, just so I remember where you are. Eddie is going to go third. Mia's going to go last. I want you to give us the moral, Mia. I want you to give us the moral. So you're going to go at the end.
Awesome.
And then who else raised their hand? ZM. ZM, you're number 4. Ruchi, you're number 5. And then who's number 6? Do we have a 6? Let's see. I guess Erica will be 6. And then until finally. Who's our until finally? I guess I'll do the until finally. Everybody clear on their number? Clear?
Yep.
Okay. Now remember, just to note for this exercise, we really have to pay attention to what the person said before. And if you feel like I don't know what to do, take a deep breath. And then just lay it down. Okay, start us off, Kaylee.
Once upon a time, there was a cowboy.
The cowboy had a hole in his boot and 3 quarters.
Great, but great. So this is good, Sheldon. So the cowboy had a hole in his boot, and every day, let's keep that. The cowboy had a hole in his boot, and every day he or she, it might be a woman cowboy, you know. Go ahead. So the cowboy had a hole in his boot, and every day.
Is that me?
Yeah, that's you.
Oh, okay, sorry. All right, and and every day he
It's okay. Good. Take a breath, and whatever comes into your mind. Whatever comes into your mind.
Every day he kept stepping on a pebble, same pebble.
Oh, love that. So he had a hole in his boot, and every day he kept stepping on the same pebble. That is so great. Nice. Okay. So what we have so far, once upon a time, there was a cowboy who had a hole in his boot, and every day he would step on a pebble, the same pebble. Now, who we got next? Who's third?
I think that would be me. Okay, so wait. Oh, sorry. Was that
Who's 3?
somebody else?
I think Eddie's.
Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think.
But one day, the cowboy had had enough of both the boot and him stepping on the pebble, and he picked that pebble up and examined it closely.
He picked it up and examined it. Great. Now who's 4?
Okay. Oh boy. All right. And and because of that, you will not believe what he found in the center of that pebble.
You got to tell us.
Oh, okay. Oh goodness. Okay. It was an inscription in ancient Sumerian.
Okay. Great. So we found an ancient Sumerian inscription. Now, because of that, who's next?
Me.
Go ahead. Because of that.
And because of that, he got so excited, and he wanted to meet his dear friend to express the joy and the discovery he had.
Great, great. So I want you to, Ruchi, that's really good. He got really excited and wanted to meet his dear friend to share this discovery. That's great. Can you give us a little detail about the friend? Like, is the friend maybe an archaeologist? Or is the friend maybe, what would help the story there? So yeah, I love that. So he got really excited about the discovery and decided to take it to his friend. Give us a little detail about the friend.
So he wanted to take to his friend who works at a museum, so that he meets someone and they can study more about what it was.
Great, great. Or maybe translate it. That's great. So good. So now who's next? Because of that, I think we're on number 6.
But because of that, he had to put the boot that he was so sick of back on.
Oh, he had to put that boot back on. Great. Thanks, Erica. Now, who's until finally? Is it ZM until finally? Is that right?
It was you.
Oh, it was me, but ZM, did you go? Did you go? Oh, you did? Oh, I forgot. Okay. Until finally he realized. Until finally he realized that the pebble fit perfectly within the hole.
I mean, it's like interesting, but it's like they do like it get.
Yeah,
I don't know.
a little background. Sorry. Until finally he realized the pebble fit perfectly in the hole in his boot. And Mia, the moral of the story is.
So the moral of the story is sometimes archaeological finds fit best in the holes of clothing that we wear.
Yes.
Oh. That was great. That was great.
Sometimes archaeological finds fit in. What was it? Fit into the clothing.
Fit into the holes of clothing that we wear. Fit best into the holes of clothing that we wear.
Nice. Good job. Great. Good job, everyone. Give yourselves another round of applause. Woo! All right. So I'm going to put everybody into a breakout room. Not everyone, but we're going to put you in groups of 4. And I want you to play. I want you to play this for about 5 minutes. Then we're going to come back and end class. I'm going to go ahead and assign rooms. Is that fun for everybody to like learn that game?
Yeah.
So please make sure you play this on your own with friends. Like I sent you the link to the Google Doc file. Please feel free to keep that. And I'm going to assign you to rooms right now, groups of 4. Might be slightly more than 4, actually. Looks like it'll be 4 to 5 in each room. Okay, have fun. Play for try to go through the story spine like once or twice, and then just come back once you've finished. If you've done it twice, come back.
You have the format?
All right, have fun. Hi, Peely. I'll unmute you. Okay, for those of you who I see that we have about 12 people on live still, while everyone's in breakout rooms playing. We have space in the Zoom classroom. We had a few people who had to leave. So if you want to rejoin, we have a few minutes left in class and we're going to do one last thing. So if you'd like to join, feel free to join. The Zoom link is posted and the code is 1337. So you just have to post 1337 in order to join. But if not, feel free to keep watching on Facebook Live and you can see the end of class. So thanks. Hey, Tony, you've been in class before, right? Or have you not?
I haven't.
Oh, okay. First time?
Yeah, first time.
Having fun?
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. I love it here.
Glad you're having fun, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, there was another person a couple months ago who had a similar background to you.
With my face on it?
No, whoa, that is crazy. That's you?
It's me just looking very concerned. I'm wondering why I'm in the moon.
That's cool.
I don't know how I got there.
That is cool, man. Is that on your wall or is that a custom background you said?
No, it's just a custom. I like putting my face in weird places. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No problem. No problem. Cool, man. Well, let me check the chat. I think we had a few questions. So Aaron left early. No worries, Aaron. Woohoo! It happens. So Tony wins the award for best background. I agree. Improv is dope from Ajit. Thank you, Ajit. Does anybody, did you guys have fun? Thumbs up if that was fun. Cool. Any questions or anything you noticed or anything you want to share? And then we're going to warm down on our last part of class. Yes, Ajit.
Yeah, I never thought like for Monday evening, I had so much fun after like a long day of school related stuff. Like I didn't even know this was today. I saw some event online. I was like, oh, dope. Let me sign up for this free event. And, like, no wonder, like I had so much fun and learned so many new things, like the beauty of this is getting to know who I am and who other people are, like just knowing yourself.
Totally. Knowing yourself is really important for storytelling or for acting.
Eye contact is absolutely important.
Yes, yes. And then also, like you said, listen.
Creativity is awesome.
Yes. You're just so excited, Ajit. I love it. All right. So I think Alicia also had something. Did you have something, Alicia? Go ahead.
Yeah, I really enjoyed meeting everybody in the small groups. That was a lot of fun.
Great. I'm so glad.
Yeah, it feels out of your comfort zone, but in the safety of your own home, which I enjoyed a lot.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Alicia. Anybody else have anything they want to add? Yeah, Deborah.
Yeah, I think I agree with the last comment. This is my first time from Philly, so and I'm so grateful that the Eagles won yesterday. But anyway, I this is something different and new for me. And so it did kind of bring me out of my comfort zone and just be silly. And I also believe I can apply what I learned tonight to my writing. So that's good.
Great. Thank you, Deborah. I'm glad. And you're writing short stories, or what are you writing?
Books. I'm on my second book.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm so glad this was helpful to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for joining. Thank you. Anybody else want to share anything? Tony?
Yeah, thanks. I play D&D on the regular, and this really helps with fleshing out characters and building the world. And I also do improv,
Nice.
actually with Kojo and Mia on the side. So this is going to help us with our scenes and coming up with funny stuff to do. So.
Oh, no way. That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't know Kojo was in your improv group. Where are you? Are you all of you together in person? Do you do improv?
Yeah. Oh, we do it virtually over Zoom and stuff. That's how we found out about this class, and I'm really glad we came. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks, Tony. Thank you. And then who else? I think somebody else raised their hand. I just want to go over one. Oh, Ramzi. Yes, Ramzi.
Yes, hello. I just want to ask, does a story always have to have a point? Does it really have to always have a moral?
It doesn't always have to, no. But so this is just one structure of many narrative structures. If you check out the link I sent about the story spine and how it applies to a lot of Pixar films, there usually is like an ending or a new normal with like some kind of meaning or takeaway, but it doesn't always have to, no. Yeah, good question. Thank you. Anybody else have a question about David, did you have a question? Go ahead, David. Oh, Mia has one too. Mia.
Okay. Who?
I think it was
Am I
David.
on?
Yeah, you're on, David.
David? Okay. First of all, thank the lady from Philly for the Eagles update. I'm from there, but I'm in Kansas now, and we're actually on TV right now to give you some idea of my priorities. I'm here. But anyway, thank you very much. I've been doing stand-up comedy since the 80s and public speaking for 30 years, longer than that probably. But I will be back if I'm on a mailing list or whatever loop that is. That was really my question. Am I guaranteed to find you again? And how often does this happen? One input, if I may, I'd like to spend a little more time with the people. Maybe it's I kept thinking this must be like what speed dating looks like. You get to meet somebody for like 30 seconds or a minute, but you have a task at hand and you're curious as to what part of the world they're in. So maybe, a little more time for your exercises or repeat with a smaller number of people.
Sure, yeah.
Have a partner for 2 gigs instead of 1.
That's great.
Just throwing this out there. I've had a great time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Maybe we'll do more 2-on-2 or repeat with partners a few times to get to know each other better. It's hard when you have like 100 people. We had 100 people at the beginning today, which is a lot. And now we're down to 61 because we're running a little over time. And my apologies. These classes usually are about 2 hours, but we're running a little late today. So I want to, did anybody else have anything? Because I just want to, Mia. Yes, Mia.
I'm sorry. I wanted to say thank you so much for the class. You were quite a lovely instructor. I can't wait. Hopefully there's more of these in the future. I was just gonna bring up a comment about Kojo's cat again. But I know the chat was demanding his presence. I'm just poking some fun at Kojo there, since he is a part of our, as Tony mentioned, our group. So thank you once again.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, thank you, Kojo. Your cat was awesome. What kind of cat was it again? It was a, I'm trying to remember, random question.
Just a short hair. I'll grab him if I see him.
Yeah, grab it for the class so we can all see your kitty. Nice. Thank you, Dana. While you're grabbing it, I'm going to mute you and answer 2 more questions, but please bring the cat. Matt, you had a question? Oh, let me unmute you, Matt.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. My meetup page, just a heads up, said 5:30 to 7. So I don't know if that was just for this particular group, but just for the future.
Thank you. Yeah, it should have. I put the Eventbrite to 5:30 to 7:30. I think that's my error though on the meetup, because we use Meetup to get people to find out as well. So woohoo, that's my mistake. Sorry about that, Matt.
No problem.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. Who else had a question? I just want to answer this last question. Ashley B. Go ahead.
Right. All right. I'm so glad you picked me. Thank you so much. I really enjoy myself. I got a big meeting coming up, so I asked a couple times in the chat, what would you suggest about team storytelling? So I did write some notes about struggles of the team, objectives, and then diagnose a problem, and then empathy nuggets. Did you have anything else to add?
What kind of team storytelling are you doing? Like what for?
I have to do a presentation to get individuals to buy into something that I'm selling that they feel like is a headache to do so, but it's a better outcome for patients, if it makes sense.
I hear you. Yeah. So at first when you said team story, because all these exercises popped into my mind that are like, I know several games where it's like 6 to 8 people all tell a story together. And I thought you meant something like that. So in your situation where you're presenting one to many, trying to get them to buy into an idea, I would just say make sure you're really clear in the beginning, and also try to grab them with like a problem statement or something that hooks them in the beginning. So kind of like, this is the world now and the problem. And then eventually you lead them on this journey over the course of 5 to 10 minutes or however long your story is, to like, this is what the world could be. So, because you're trying to get them to buy into something that will help them, right? That will solve a problem. So you really want to get them in the very beginning to get interested and then relate emotionally to that problem. So how is it impacting the business? How are people struggling? And really, and tell maybe some stories about that. If you have any quotes, like quotes of customers or quotes from team members, where you can say, John from this department had this happen to him. We don't ever want this to happen again. If we do this, it'll never happen again. So you can kind of bring in real examples, and it makes them relatable. So just feel like, pretend you know nothing about, this is a very abbreviated answer to your question, by the way. This is like broad strokes. I'm sorry, I can't spend more time with you on this, but imagine you know nothing about how great this thing is. Just put yourself in the shoes of the people watching, and try telling that story to other people who you know, who are not in that industry. Try that, because you can use Color Advance, or you can use some of these tools to get them to prototype the story with you, and also to say, hey, this is not clear, or hey, I don't know what that jargon means. You know what I mean? Yeah, so try telling your presentation, practice your presentation and your story on a few people who don't know anything about that industry, and see how clear it is, and ask them where they felt really interested, and where they started to try to, and pay attention to how they're reacting. When are they spacing out? You just want to captivate them. So good question, Ashley. I have time for 1 or 2 more, and then we're going to end class. Any more questions about that game that we just played, the narrative story spine? Okay, so we usually end class. I'm just going to unmute a couple people, but before I do, one announcement, or 2 announcements. So again, the Joy of Improv is all about bringing storytelling and improv to people who haven't had the opportunity or don't have the means for this type of training. So in my example, I was 28 when I started improv. I'm almost 33 now, I'm 32. I was working in technology in San Francisco. My team at the time told me, we love you outside of work, you're our favorite person. outside of work. But at work, you're kind of intense. So they're basically saying, they told me, I wish you would slow down and give us the context, over communicate. And we wish you would be more vulnerable with us. So at the time, my team was saying, we wish you would slow down and be more vulnerable. Interesting thing is, you can be a leader and be vulnerable. You don't have to be a leader that's a hard ass and has everything right all the time or is perfect. I learned that through improv. So improv is really helpful, I think, for a lot of different reasons in life. And it got me to soften up and chill out as a person. And I just want to bring improv to a lot of other people. We had Nyla here, she's helping us. Also Shawit, we had a few other volunteers who are sometimes in these classes and sometimes they teach or co-teach. But that's what this is about. So I hope you had fun today. This is a volunteer run thing. So if you had fun and you'd like to donate $5, $10, $20, it really helps. It helps us cover Zoom. It helps us cover Meetup. It helps us cover time spent. It just helps. So you can donate via Venmo at the Joy of Improv. And we also have a open collective fundraising page, which is for nonprofits. But you can, here's our Venmo. So I'll just type this in the chat, Venmo at Joy of Improv. You know, if you can give 10 to 15 bucks, if 10 people give 10 bucks, then we cover our costs for a class, you know? So greatly appreciate you for helping us. If you're able to donate, we really appreciate it. Any questions about that? I'll also send that information out afterward, the Open Collective and the Venmo. We also have some classes coming up. So we have private classes that are very reduced in price in comparison to other improv and storytelling schools, because we want to make this very accessible. We also have diversity scholarships available. In our past class, we had 2 people who received diversity scholarships. One was sponsored by a corporation. So if you know any tech companies or companies in general who want to sponsor a class scholarship, classes are usually 180 bucks. The scholarship that the student was given was actually 500. So they ended up getting to do almost 3 classes with us. So, so we do diversity scholarships. Feel free to email me if you're interested in applying for one. We usually give out a couple every quarter. So I think Shawit, Aaliyah, and Ola were our last diversity scholarship recipients. So yeah, feel free to email me about that. And we have a storytelling class coming up, which is 6 weeks long, where we get together and just tell stories. And then we also have 2 improv classes coming up. One is the fundamentals of improv and how to work on letting things go and being in the moment and being spontaneous, and also getting in touch with your natural presence as a storyteller, which we have a workshop coming up on that, which is free in a few months as well. And then we also have some more intermediate to advanced classes, which is more about performance. But I often find, I perform improv and I also act, but I also find taking classes really helpful. So I'm always training. So I'm always taking acting classes or doing dialects and accents, just anything to sharpen my toolbox. So if anybody has questions about that, raise your hands if you're interested in taking a class. Raise your hands. Cool. Awesome. Cool. So I'll just feel free, again, my email, just email me if you're interested in the class and I'll send you the information. It's just jaredpolivka@gmail.com. We just got the Joy of Improv. We're about to get a website. We have a volunteer who's helping us with our website coming up. We should have an actual website in a month or so. So it's just the Joy of Improv. Yeah, just use my personal email. It's easier. So that's about it for my announcements. Does anybody have any questions before we do our final thing? So for our final thing, it's a storytelling game, which is just one word at a time, but we call it words of wisdom. So it's like word at a time proverbs. So I'm going to unmute a couple people. I'm going to unmute Brianna. I'm going to unmute Tony. I'm going to unmute Jed, Jacob, Ashley B, August, Alejandra, Ramsey, and I'm going to unmute. Who else? Who else do we have? I'm gonna do Sheldon and Kaylee again. So you can also play this one with your kids, Sheldon and Kaylee. Just, oh man, I should have done the numbers in order. Shoot. Alejandra's first.
They like it.
Alejandra's first. Jed is second. Actually, unmute if I didn't call you, or sorry, turn your video off if I didn't call you. That's so much easier than me having to go through everything. So Alejandra's first. Jed is second. Tony's third. Jacob's fourth. August is fifth. Ashley is sixth. And then Kaylee and Sheldon are seventh and eighth. Cool. And Ramsey is ninth. Wow, I really did go for a lot of people for this one. So this is just one word at a time. And Brianna, did I call you? You're ninth or 10th? Sorry.
I never heard my name, but I guess I'll go last.
Yeah, go after Kaylee and Sheldon. So go after Kaylee and Sheldon. So we're just going to go one word at a time and base this story off the other person. So Tony, can we just demo it real quick? Have you played word at a time story?
I think I've played something similar.
Yeah, so sometimes
I
go
to
the
parties.
Yeah. Yes. So that's all it is. So we're all after, when we feel like as a group it naturally ends, we're gonna go like this. We're gonna go yes.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. We're all kind of like, yes. So person number one, can you start us off with a word? And then it's one word at a time. Each person gives a word. And when we feel like it comes to a natural end, yes. Let's do it. Yes. Start us off, number one.
Lamp.
Shades.
Shades, was that the word?
Yeah. Lampshade.
Sometimes.
Fall.
Yes. Lampshade, sometimes fall. Great. Now, I think it's Jed. Who's next, Jed or no? Who's number
I'm 5.
Yeah, go ahead, August. Start us off.
Okay, let's do it. Zoom calls. That's 2 words, but it works.
Ooh, Zoom calls. Good.
Or
Kind of difficult.
Yes. All right, start us off, Sheldon.
Always.
Be.
Always be
Ready.
ready.
when
Always be ready when. Who's number one?
Sorry, I don't know who's going next. Always be ready when the Sharpie.
Jumps.
Yes. Never know when you're whiteboarding and that Sharpie jumps right off the whiteboard. Never know. Nice. Okay, so that's just word at a time story. We can do one more if you'd like. You guys want to do one more?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Sure.
So you can rename yourself your number, by the way. It might help people. So feel free to rename yourself really quickly. Your number. Yeah. Hi, Lori. Good to have you. Hi, Lori. So we're going to play this one more time, just one last final one. And then, 3 participants raised their hand. Oh, they have Zuri, Sharon, and Eddie. You know, let's just wrap up here. We're past time, and I'm just going to keep it open for 5 to 10 minutes if anybody has questions for me. So that's the end of class. Thank you, everybody. Feel free to turn your video back on. And if you have questions, I'm here to answer questions for another 5 to 10 minutes. And then I actually have to go do an improv practice right after this. So does anybody have any questions for me? Go ahead, Alicia.
I have a question. If you so during your breathing practice with the boat thing,
Yeah.
everything was great. Everything was fine until you had me stand up in the boat and I felt afraid. So what do you recommend
Yeah.
when or if those kinds of feelings come up in those scenarios.
I just acknowledge it. Yeah. It's just, and that exercise is all about sinking into the water and breathing deep and feeling how you're feeling. But if the imaginative exercise makes you feel something, just notice that. And then just breathe again and just remind yourself that you're just doing a make-believe imagination, meditation. So just remind yourself that this is just make-believe and that you're not in any danger. So I would just remind yourself that, and then but also what's really great is when you're writing stories or imagining stories, if you feel fear, that might be your inspiration to make that a horror boat story. Or it might be your inspiration to say, why am I fearing this thing? And be curious about it. Like breathe, be curious, dive deeper into that, right? Because maybe there's a cool story there and you can ask yourself what comes next. A hand comes out of the water onto the side of the boat.
I was picturing like this weird creature, and I was trying to balance, like, so I wouldn't fall in. And then you're like, oh, step in the water. I'm like, but there's this weird thing in the water. So
that's okay. What's also cool is like you could probably manifest superpowers and deal with that thing if you needed to. So, just take a breath and just notice how you're feeling, and then be curious about what is that. I say always notice and be curious.
Thank you.
Yeah. And yes, Erica Jean.
For some of your other classes, are they all like really, really large groups, or do you have other ones that are a bit like smaller, like just more?
Yeah, the private classes are 14 max.
Okay.
So, and we usually have, and they usually sell out, but sometimes we have like 10 to 12, but it's usually 14 max. So, and we usually go for anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours because I want to make sure everybody gets to work. And we do a lot of, I like to run it like a basketball practice where you do a lot of one-on-one drilling and you get to get a lot of work in, but then we also do stuff in front of the group. It's tough with these big classes when you start out with like 100 people. Yeah.
And you said you're going to send like the information like afterwards, or what, or is it just through the chat, like all of the?
Oh yeah, I'll email it. Did you register via Eventbrite?
I did.
So I should have your email. I'm going to send a batch email to everybody, but also if you're interested in a class, just email me because they usually sell out like within 2 days of when I post them. And what I would do is I would email me and I'll make sure that I have like a wait list also from my last class. And so I'll make sure that and the wait list knows. You'll know like a day or two before everybody else knows.
Okay.
So just email me if you're interested and just put like interested in class in the subject line.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
My email's in the chat. So.
Okay, I'll grab it.
Yeah. Anybody else have a question? Just checking around the group. Zuri? Yes, Zuri.
Hey, thanks so much for the class. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
One question that I do have is like, I'm in the Bay Area. I know that you mentioned, I know you said you worked in San Francisco. I don't know if you still do live in the area, but nonetheless, I was just trying to figure out like, what other groups or resources that you knew of. Because of course, if like there's a waiting list for your class right now, I'm just trying to figure out like, how I can kind of make sure that I stay involved with classes like these.
Absolutely. Yeah. One of my favorite groups is called, just go to improv.org.
Okay.
And look for any class taught by Rebecca Stockley or Lisa Rowland. I'm trying to remember who else is still teaching right now. That's where I started. I trained there. They're really great improv school. They're really awesome. I think if you want to do more narrative storytelling stuff, there are some free classes online. Khan Academy has a nice like Pixar, like intro to storytelling type of thing. If you check Khan Academy. What else is in San Francisco? Let me think. What are you mainly interested in? Mainly improv, acting, or narrative, or which one?
Improv and acting. So I'm just trying to get my feedback wet. I haven't done this in years.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of where I'm at right now in the exploratory phase.
Well, I'd say definitely BATS Improv, which is improv.org. Also check out American Conservatory Theater.
Okay.
I did some training there. They're very solid. Trying to think who else. Berkeley Repertory Theater is good. It's across the bay because everything's online right now, and it's probably going to stay online for another six to 9 months. Unfortunately, maybe up to a year, especially in like big cities where things are crazy, like Los Angeles. I'm in Los Angeles now. You asked me that earlier. I forgot to answer.
Oh, you're in LA. Got it.
Yeah, but I sometimes come up. I used to teach this class called Storytelling for Technologists in downtown SF, and we'd have like over 100 people, and we'd have like product managers and engineers and data scientists. But then we'd also have, like Uber drivers and librarians and personal.
Mhm.
We had all kinds of people in that class. It was so fun.
That's so cool.
I'm sad that we don't get to do it anymore. And it was a free class, and it was like 100 people would show up. And anyway, I'm digressing. But my favorite part, my emotional nugget, was 2 old ladies came up to me after that class, and they said, "This is cheaper than therapy." I love it.
Seriously. It is. And I actually do drama therapy virtually in LA. So that's actually why I joined this class, because one of the goals is, okay, now I'm getting personal, but like one of my personal goals that I had to set in drama therapy was to get into acting class. So this is literally so helpful for me. So I really appreciate everything.
That's really cool. You should email me, because there's this lady that used to be in one of our classes when I went to Austin. I taught a few classes in Austin. Her name's April, and she's a social worker, and she uses a lot of these games that she's learned from class for social work and for working with people. So I taught this other class at this like nonprofit that helps homeless people. It's called Mobile Loaves and Fishes. And they found a lot of the games useful for working with recently homeless people and just being more empathetic to them and like engaging with them in a deeper way. So yeah, I think a lot of these exercises are helpful in drama therapy too.
Yeah, it was great. Well, I'll definitely email you. Remember the face and the name.
Cool. I remember.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Anybody else have any questions? Let's see. Nyla, thank you so much for giving them my email. Nyla is one of our community members and volunteers, and I hope eventually she's teaching class. But I think she will be in a few months, or maybe another, not too long from now. Yes, who else has a question? I'll just enter my email again. Samantha Martinez.
Hi there.
Hi, Samantha.
How are you?
I'm well. I had fun.
I did too. I actually, I came in 30 minutes before this ended. Unfortunately, I had some work to do, but it was something I was looking forward to all week since I actually registered for it.
Yeah.
Improv is definitely not my comfort zone. It's something that's very new to me. I was able to participate in the Story Spine, I think it's called. And I noticed myself kind of really struggling to find out how I can like start like my story. So I was just wondering if you could give some advice. Like, what do you do when you're just stuck? You can't find what to do.
Sure. Was it at the beginning of the story or based on what someone else said?
I was able to jump off of what people said. I just couldn't start it off.
Okay. Sometimes it's just about like taking a breath and just trusting whatever comes. So you could say, maybe even try it with a friend, play the story spine, but just, once upon a time, there was a turtle named Leroy. That's all I needed. I wasn't even planning that at all. It just came out. Once upon a time, there was a deer. Once upon a time, there was a window with a face. Once upon a time, there was a door that talked. It could be anything. Once upon a time, there was a water bottle that smelled like roses. Until one day, right? So it's just like, you can kind of just trust yourself, and it doesn't have to be perfect or good. Take that pressure off yourself that it has to be interesting or good or right, because a lot of improv is about giving yourself, it's a mindset in a way, and it's about giving yourself room to make mistakes and have fun.
All right. Thank you so much for that. And one last thing, I missed it before, but how do we keep in contact with you in regards to like the next class? Because I would really like to attend something like this again.
Sure. So email me at jaredpolivka@gmail.com. I put it in the chat. Also, our Facebook group and Eventbrite has the upcoming monthly classes.
Okay.
So there's a community class once a month. We used to do them once a week when we were in person, but it's just with COVID. Also, I know everybody's kind of working a lot and stressed, and I'm no exception. So it's kind of like I'm working on a lot of other stuff right now in addition to doing the volunteer work. So I'd like to teach more often. I just need to make more time for it or find more volunteer instructors. So yeah. So,
thank you so much for that. And thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Samantha. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else have a question? I just want to make sure that I answer all questions before I go. I only see a couple people right now. I see Alex, Brianna, Samantha, Kate, David, Clara, Erica, Nora, Katie, and Nyla. And then we have a bunch of hidden participants. So I've got a couple. Should we? Yeah, I know I need to come to improv practice. I know. Is that what you're going to tell me? You need to tell me I need to come practice. Is that right?
I'm just smiling and nodding.
I'll be in practice. All right. I know I need to get off here. I love you, Shawit. I'll see you in practice. All right. With that, everybody, no other questions. Have a great night. I'm going to jump into improv practice, and I'll see you next time. So bye, everybody. See ya.